Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Tenzin, 1/3 of the SOS podcast, rapper and recording artist from Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, shit. Guess I doxed myself. Nah, I'm just kidding. Because according to Amaretta, I'm not actually in Atlanta, so I guess I didn't dox myself. I guess I kind of just lied. But anywho, the little jokey jokes. But yeah, man. Well, let's get into it, man. You know, we've been getting hit with like these bombshells lately. Hayden Panettiere, peace be upon her. I believe she passed last week, and then yesterday we get hit. Dolly Parton. Wow, talk about just losing some some pretty good people, which is why I wanted to touch on. Sorry, y'all had to hear that burp. I know that was disgusting, but that's why I wanted to just sort of touch on like child celebrities, right? Just in general, like I'm only speaking of it because Hayden was a child actor herself. Which dang, I had to like look back on all her roles, and yeah, that was her. I'll remember the Titans. And it's crazy. I didn't think she was older than me either. I always thought she was younger than I was because of what I've seen on Remember the Titans. But yeah, she's actually she was born in '89, so yeah, she's like 2 years older than I am. I did not know that. Peace be upon you, Hayden. But I just wanted to talk about just I guess the concept of a child celebrity, like in general, because it has to be tough. Um, Being at such a young age, having all that attention, um, having to deal with fame, and yeah, let's not sugarcoat. Hey, Lavendar, what's going on? Let's not sugarcoat. I mean, Hollywood is very creepy. Um, Hold on, it says device is not connected for B. There it is. Okay. Hey B, what's up?
Yo, my bad. Sorry, I was looking. Apparently, Instagram took the audio from one of our reels.
Really? Which one?
It was one of your individual ones, and it won't let me
Oh.
see. It was some. It was when you was something about you was talking about the movie Fresh. They took it from us, straight up zapped it.
Ah. Oh. I know, Lavendar. Yeah. That's what we were touching on today. Um okay, like it must have been was it the one where I was like staring at the camera?
Yeah, I said I forgot. Like I remember when you did it, I just forgot exactly you what happened in the audio. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
use that
I was.
stock audio.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they did that to us. But anyway, but yeah, first off, shout out to the SOS fam. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all these deaths, man. So the first one, you know, I mean, all of these are varying in degree of like how big they are. But the first one that I saw from the get go was Michael Wright.
Oh,
Michael Wright, for people who don't know, he was in the Five Heartbeats. He was Eddie Kane in
oh
Five
him.
Heartbeats.
Okay.
He was
Yeah.
Ray Nathan in Sugar Hill. Um, he was in a bunch of stuff, but he was mainly known, especially amongst black people, for being Eddie Kane in the Five Heartbeats.
Let me see something.
So
'Cause hold on, real quick. Michael Wright, his name was.
yeah,
I want to see something. Cause I think that was him. You know what's crazy? Cause I mean it's not funny. Cause I'm like, hold on, cause him and Leon look so similar. I was like, oh my god, that's Leon's real name. Like so I
yeah.
was like, oh no, okay, hold on.
I used to get confused when my mom would be watching the Five Heartbeats. I used to get confused with that when I was a kid too, because I used to be like, well, which one was the drug addict one? And that's the best way to remember in that movie is Eddie Kane was the one who became the drug addict. Leon is the one who was Robert Townsend's brother.
Okay. And yeah, so I just realized, holy shit, he was on Oz. Michael Wright was on Oz. I was like, I thought he was in.
Okay, yeah, he was in that. I heard he was in Black Lightning too, which I didn't
I
watch Black
didn't.
Lightning.
Yeah, I didn't get. Yeah, I didn't get that far to see him. But but yeah, man, I was actually talking about because yeah, we're gonna cover them. Uh, any favorites from the celebs who passed? I mean,
Oh yeah, I was about to go through the whole list. So Michael Wright for sure. I mean the huge one was Dolly Parton.
yeah, of course.
Dolly Parton. That one was insane. And then the other one I heard about was Tim Curry today.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that just hit today.
yeah,
Um,
so them is the three big ones I heard about. I don't know if there's any other ones that happened too recently that I missed, but them was like the big three that I heard. Oh, duh, Hayden Panettiere. I'm
yeah,
tripping.
yeah,
Yeah,
um, that's what I was kind of talking about, man. Like in honor of her, I was sort of just talking about, like the certain struggles of being like a child celebrity, you know.
yeah, man. It's yeah,
And
like
I was,
because
what I was telling the audience, like I didn't know Hayden Panettiere was older than me. I always thought she was younger than me because when I first saw her, it was on Remember the Titans. So I
okay,
just assumed I was like, okay, yeah, that little girl, whatever. But I didn't know she was like 2 years older. That was wild. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, but I was going over like in general, just you know,
yeah.
like the toll being being famous at a young age could have on people. Like,
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was just looking at the one story today. It was a now the movie came out when I was like 2, so I never watched it. But there was a Disney Channel movie. I think one of the actresses from that movie is suing Disney because she was claiming back
mm,
uh when she was doing that movie. I forgot. I can't remember that. I think it's Raquel Lee. I think is her name is,
mm-hmm.
and I guess she did some movie called The Proof Point or whatever on Disney Channel. And yeah, apparently, she's suing Disney now because she claims that while she was filming that movie, she was assaulted several times by some creepy older dude there. And she claims also like people on set low key knew about it and didn't really try to get her any help or do anything about it. So, it's yeah, it's like being a young actor, especially back during like it seems like, the 90 well, I mean, no, not especially, but it seems like if you was a child actor, I guess pre 2010s, it just seems like it was just real rough.
Right. And luckily now there is more protections with children.
Yeah.
But cause I was thinking, I wish I could remember this young lady's name. There's two young ladies. I mean, there's one. We know the one who voiced Ducky from Land Before Time, and she was also a voice on All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Princess
Um,
Shylanta, what's up, brother? How you doing?
hey, what's good, Prince? But yeah, like I know. I think what her father killed her or something like that.
Oh wow. See, I never even knew that. That's crazy. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
because I remember I watched this documentary, and this is like another child, not the child I was just talking about, but and apparently like a lot of child celebrities go through this too. Like it was like a child celebrity from I want to say like either 30s or the 50s, one of them. But they were talking about how her father was like, when you're a child, when you're that young and you're making all this money, like
Hmm.
I guess like your parents kind of like resent you because it's like, well,
Right.
damn, I'm your parent, but you're the one, bringing in the money, like what
Right.
I'm saying. So, and I think maybe the voice of Ducky that probably could have been um, a factor.
Hmm.
and why he did what he had to do. Well, he did not have to do that. He shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I
Um,
understood what you meant, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that does happen a lot. I mean, I've heard like, for instance, like with Macaulay Culkin, like Macaulay Culkin was claiming like that was one of the reasons why he had such a hard time. Is like essentially his parents was pimping him out, you know,
yeah,
like keeping him, purposely like hooked up, like and like churning him out for the child stuff. And I think the sad thing is too with a lot of those kids, it's hard for them to grow up in the acting industry, and then you
right.
got abusive parents on top of that. Like for instance, I heard that was like from what I heard, I think that was kind of what happened with like Shirley Temple. Like Shirley
Mm,
Temple was getting pimped out and used by her mom. I mean, like, I there's all these horror stories that apparently like, on them sets she was getting abused left and right. You know what I'm saying? And then as she got older, it was hard for her to transition into other acting roles because everybody wanted tiny little Shirley Temple, you know what I'm saying? And then
right.
when she became a teenager and stuff, it got harder and harder for her.
And that's like another struggle too, right? Like you come into the game as like this young, this youth, but
Yeah,
eventually, what naturally occurs? Age, you
right,
know, puberty. And yeah, so you
right.
might so like for those who can't pivot, like yeah, that'll probably take a toll on them too. Like crisscross, like I believe like once they became like adults, like I mean, people were listening to them a little bit, but like
Yeah.
not as much when they were like, young, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of music, the only child musician that I can think of who like was really able to overcome that was like low key Bow Wow. I know people like to crap on
mm,
Bow Wow now, but I was part of the generation who, when I was really little, I grew up with him as like a kid through like the Like Mike era, and then like I saw him become
mm,
an adult star in terms of like making grown up music, and then like transitioning into acting and stuff like that. So like he's like one of the few success stories of like people like that, or like you get like
right.
it's like in terms of like
Like at the
white
very least
stars.
to like not, yeah,
Yeah, like
like at
because
the
I was
very least
thinking
to
too,
not
like
be
you got,
as messed up.
yeah, because like I was thinking too, you got your like, well, no, not Britney Spears because she had her issues, but like you get like your Justin Timberlakes or Ryan Goslings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because like they was kid stars too. Like they was able to like transition upwards and stuff. So
Right.
like I
And,
say,
and I
it
was gonna
not.
mention.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, just like another positive example. Obviously, like Zendaya, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
like the child celebrities who like remain surrounded by people who had like their best interests at heart. Like you know what I mean. And I
Right.
just read Lavendar's comment. She says, which I didn't know this. The people behind Bluey, they refuse to show any of the child actors just to protect them. And I'm like, that's dope because I remember Lavendar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the voice actor for Steven from Steven Universe, like he like I know the fandom was putting him through it for a while. I'm like,
Jeez.
really? Him? So
Yeah,
that's
and some
dope.
people be so like, listen, I know not all child actors is great, but some people be so hard on them child actors. I was just reading
Like the
something the other
method.
day, like people was talking about, oh, how bad the little Asian girl from Modern Family sucked, and she was worse as she got older. I'm just like, I thought she was funny. Like, and as she got older, like I think the jokes got better. Like, everybody was talking about how she was the worst actor on the show, and I'm just like, that was crazy to me. Like, I thought she was hilarious. Refused to do any
Oh
meetups
wow.
anymore because of the
But that's
bullying.
and that's crazy because I remember when I saw him at MomoCon, like everybody loved that little nigga. Like, And because I remember seeing him with his father and stuff. Like, I mean, and he was, to this day, I still respect him because like I could see like the exhaustion in his face, but he was still like
Yeah,
doing signing the autographs for as long as he could. Like, hell, like he would stop and talk to people, but his dad would have to kind of remind him, "Hey, come on, let's go." Like,
right.
like,
Nah, I
um,
mean, to me, the worst, like the worst treatment in my lifetime, granted, I was really young when this first started happening, but like, I always think about Jake Lloyd when it came to Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like how Star Wars almost
oh
ruined his
yeah,
life because people who couldn't get over some like fantasy space wizard movies, y'all couldn't get over it, and then they like harassed him for years, and he was like that followed him everywhere. You know what I mean?
yeah. I
Like,
think wasn't he bullied in school too over it?
yeah, it was
Like,
like bullied in school, bullied in the press, like all types of stuff. Like it was crazy, and I think I can't remember when this interview was from, but he was talking about it, and he was like, yeah, it took him a long time to like a attempt to get over that. Like he went to drugs, all types of stuff. Like it's crazy. I think the thing about it is both behind the scenes and when it comes to fans, I think a lot of people forget that the first thing is these are kids. Well,
right,
even I was well,
humans, like
yeah,
humans
yeah. I
that
was about to say,
yeah.
yeah. Even outside of the kid thing, I think people, when it comes to actors, actresses, and musicians, period, forget that these people is human. You know what I mean? A lot of these times, people like to treat these celebrities and stuff as commodities and not people. And then when they eventually wig out, go crazy, or God forbid, do something extremely drastic, and they end up not on this planet anymore, people want to sit there and cry and talk about, oh, I love them and XYZ and all this other
Mhm.
stuff, and then it just be like, okay, where was all this sentiment when they was here? You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just crazy.
I was reading up, I guess, like, I was reading up on Hayden on her wiki, and it was saying
Yeah,
like, the stress of the work itself.
right,
Like, I don't know if she went through anything like traumatic as a child, but like just the stress like got her to be addicted to like, pills and stuff.
right.
And
I
then
do believe
eventually
somebody was
alcoholism.
mentioning that she was on a podcast about a year or two ago and like mentioned how like a friend of hers low key handed her to like an abuser or something. So
Mm.
I don't know she was a child or she was an adult, but I do remember seeing that story was being talked about like after she passed. So I think that probably played a factor into it too. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like sad. And I think that's the other part about that too, like when it comes to these child stores, is like on top of the trauma and the usury and all that stuff, it's the access to things like that. You know what I mean? Now obviously there are people who aren't famous who have access to substances and stuff, but you know it's it becomes like exponentially more available when you're like popular and stuff, because people practically giving it away, trying to be cool
Mhm.
with you. And it's like, it's sad, like and I don't know, I do wish there was kind of uh more like studies on why a lot of these child prodigies, end up cracking so bad. You know what I mean? And I wish there was more care and concern put into like figuring out like what's going on there. I will say, again, this is just me on the outside looking in. I will say I do think people have become slight bit more concerned with their well-being, especially after that Quiet on Set documentary came out and stuff like that. But I do think there is more strides that need to be taken. It's like that woman I was telling you about with the Disney movie and stuff, who's suing Disney right now. in her thing, she mentioned that back in 2000 or 99, whenever that movie was filmed, she had an appointed guardian on set, like that was supposed to be like, following her and stuff like that. But she said a lot of the times they just weren't with her,
Mm.
you know? So yeah, that safeguard, that's the thing. That's the other thing with safeguards. People have to be willing to adhere to them. And if there's
Yeah.
people on the job who are lax or just, ignore things and stuff, then what's the point of having the rule?
Right. And obviously, and I mean, it's unfortunately it's both sexes. I mean, I'm just using like young women as an example, but obviously little young boys go through it too. Like,
Oh yeah,
you know, like they get sexualized at such an early age.
yeah,
Like what they say, well, like especially like back in the early 1970s and stuff. What's her name? Portman, right?
Natalie Portman. Yeah,
Yeah, like her appearing on that the professional and stuff like that. Like they said, like they kind of like well, I think even she said like she felt like sexualized at such a young age, and then
right,
of course
right.
all those poor those kids from Nickelodeon who
Right.
didn't
Yeah, I
have
even think about like Jodie Foster and Taxi Driver. Like
Mhm.
John Hinckley, who did he kill or try to kill? Was it Reagan? Yeah, he
Yeah.
tried to shoot Reagan because he was in love with 12-year-old Jodie Foster in that movie. Like that's
Oh my god.
crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's wild. Also, hate to insert a joke in here, but of all the things you could have shot Reagan for,
Right.
you should. Well, hey, you know what I'm saying? There were so many legit reasons to take
Right.
Reagan out,
Yeah.
and you did it because you was a creep and you fell in
Right.
love with a 12-year-old character from a movie. You psycho! Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't have done it because he was flooding crack into the black communities or nothing. It could have done. It could have been nothing like that. Or the
I
fact
know.
that he was taking away free college and all that other stuff. No, you had to do it because you was a creep and you went and watched the movie and couldn't get it out your brain, idiot. Like, what's wrong with you? That's why you missed too. Like, because your mind wasn't focused. Stupid.
Right. Yeah. So so like child celebrities also got to deal with like these creepy niggas who just can't seem to get fired.
Yeah, you froze up.
Am I back?
Uh, your voices.
I think I'm back. B, I know you're frozen now.
Oh, now you can't see me.
Hmm. Okay, you back?
Yeah, yeah, I can see you.
Okay. Whew. Yeah. The struggles of going live, folks. Sometimes connection will do what it won't. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, it's like when I watched that documentary about about Nickelodeon and all that, and that one guy who they said like not only was caught, but they got hired on by. I'm like, okay, these kids ain't safe at all. Like
yeah,
okay, 11 hours say we both look good now.
yeah. I
Um,
remember too. Like speaking of like weird fan bases, like it's one of the things you don't think about till like later on when you're kind of forced to think about it. It's like when you see like concert footage or like fan meetups of like Justin Bieber or something. You know what I mean? It'd be all
yeah,
them little girls in the crowd. But then every once in a while, you see a hand shoot up that like is a bit older than the rest of the other hands. And that you know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, like that's like that like I couldn't imagine that either. Like that's like gross. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
and then, that's the thing too. It's like, I mean, no disrespect to the K-pop fans or like the Disney adults, but sometimes I'll be like, all right, bro, what the fuck? Why are you here? Like,
Yeah,
like you said, like young Justin Bieber concerts, even
right.
like and like where's your kid at, nigga? Like, oh, you don't? You just oh, okay. Like,
Well, as someone who wants to hopefully go to Galaxy's Edge at Disney World, I can't agree with that sentiment because I ain't bringing no kid, bro. I'm buying my lightsaber. I'm elbowing
oh
kids
no, I
out
mean
the
I'm just
way.
talking about,
Yeah.
like like those Radio Disney concerts or something. Like you just like
Oh
that
yeah,
one
no,
adult
no, yeah,
there and you
okay.
don't
That
got
was
no
part of what
kid, you
I was
like
talking about. Yeah, I'll be like, hey, why are you here? Like,
okay.
and that's
Yeah,
not even to say
no.
that you can't enjoy the music. I mean, I think it's a bit odd that you enjoy the music at 45, but still, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, when you front row at the concert boxing out the 13-year-olds, now I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm
Right. Like
saying?
what's really good here?
Yeah, you in the line at the meet and greet. Like, no, you can't come to the meet and greet. Actually, like, meet and greet yourself back to your house. Like,
Right.
you can't come. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, you sound like Kamala Harris. Do not come.
Yeah, do not come. Like, no,
You
you get.
know, so and like I said, you can only imagine what child celebrities were going through back in like the Little Rascal days.
Oh yeah.
Because which one was it? Was it not the buckwheat actor, but well, I think him too. But the other
See, I have no
black kid,
familiarity with like the ones from like the 50s or nothing. Like, I don't know anything about them.
I forget who the other black character was, but I think
Stymie,
that was his name.
the bald one with
Yeah,
the hat. Yeah,
yeah,
Stymie. Yeah.
yeah. I think I heard his actor. Once he reached adulthood, like he fell into, like abuse, like substance
Jeez.
abuse disorder, and the kid who played Willis. Now this is like the '70s,
Oh,
right?
Todd Bridges. Yeah, that's like a
Yeah,
famous case. Like, he like
yeah.
went. Well, both of them went off the. Well, I think for real. I think they said even the girl who played the white sister. Like, I think they said she went nuts too. Like, it was like all three of them went kind of crazy. You know what I'm
Like, was that
saying?
like an abusive set or like
I I see
different shit?
that I don't know. All I know is
Okay.
I think everybody always talks about Todd Bridges, but I mean, we saw Gary Coleman went through like
Hmm.
substance abuse and
He had to sue his parents though, didn't he?
Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Am I
surprised because
okay?
there's again that's part of the other thing with I mean, we touched on it with like the usury and stuff. Is like you find out a lot of these child actors, ended up finding out that a lot of their money was being mismanaged. That's why like they have a law now. I think it came in like maybe the 80s or 90s, but like there's like a law where I think a certain percentage of their money by law has to get sent to a bank account that's saved for them till they get turn 18.
Okay,
But
good.
even
That's
then, it's not the full 100%. It's a certain percentage. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I always think about too. This was literally like what last year or so when like Lil Romeo was going after Master P because he was arguing that like Master P was holding on to his money.
Oh wow. Shaq had to block his parents from his money. Um
Shaq. Oh, oh, okay. I didn't know
I
he
think
was earning money when he was a kid. I thought he would have started getting money when he was like pro.
oh like I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure he started getting money as an adult. But but even like, like young adults, like, I heard like Pat Mahomes, like his dad kept cutting up. He's like, "Hey, I gotta cut you off, dog."
Yeah,
you know how embarrassing that gotta be. Like, if your child has to say, "I gotta cut you off," nigga. Like,
yeah.
yo, I need to reevaluate my
I think
life.
too, like I think one of the Ball brothers was just talking about recently that like low key there were some decisions that LeVar Ball made that he was like not with that he kind of just had to pretend to go along with. Like for instance, I think he was talking about like the whole thing with the shoes. He was like, yeah, the shoes like were not that great. And then we like I next to I'm wearing them on the court and like Also, like, from what I remember at least, they were like also like mad expensive, and I'm just like, he just started in the NBA. Why are you selling shoes
Right,
that
yeah, like, I
expensive?
don't
Like,
I mean, I appreciate the confidence.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so he was probably okay, so according to Lavender, I guess he was like a young adult when that happened.
Okay. Yeah. See, the only thing I know
You know,
about
'cause
him when he was younger was like the whole thing with his dad. Like when his dad tried to like come back in the picture when he turned pro, and he was like, no,
right.
like,
You literally was not with me shooting in the gym. Like
right. Yeah, that's the only thing I knew about him being young. But yeah, man, all of them, like I said, the whole Hayden Panettiere thing was crazy. Like, you know, and it was crazy too. Like, I was thinking, like, she's low key been famous like my whole life. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, Remember the Titans and Heroes, and I mean, there was a bunch of stuff she was in. I mean, Malcolm in the Middle. Also, she was hilarious in Malcolm in the Middle. She's only in a handful of episodes, but she was mad funny in that show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
trying to think.
peace be upon her. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was great in Heroes, though. Heroes, she was fantastic. Even the seasons that people claim they hated, she was good in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
How many
really loved
seasons
her.
was Heroes? I don't think I watched that
I
one.
think for the main series there was like 4 seasons, and then there was one reboot season that didn't go nowhere, which was unfortunate because I was really looking forward to that show taking back off.
Okay, I might have to
But she didn't come back for the reboot show. She was just in the main series.
okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh yeah, Heroes. I think when people talk about, granted, I wasn't around during the original run, so I think well, I mean, obviously I was around, but like I was like too young to watch it, so I didn't watch it till I was in high school, and I watched the whole thing. So I didn't have like to wait as long as other people did. So apparently, though, that show was around during the '08 writer strike. And apparently, a lot of stuff got changed and altered because of that writer strike. And
mm,
so a lot of people claim that like they hated the later seasons because like it was just a dip in quality. Now, to be fair for me, there's only like 1.5 seasons of that show that I can honestly claim that I didn't love. But some of the other stuff that people claim they hated, I really liked it. And I liked the revival too. I thought the revival was cool. Granted, they didn't have a whole lot of people come back for the revival, but the few people they did have back was pretty cool. And there was a lot of twists and turns in there that I was excited to see. But I know a lot of the original fans, I think they was already ticked off, so they went into the revival ticked off, and then
mm.
that's why the revival didn't do well.
Oh,
So but yeah, no, Heroes was dope. I thought she was fantastic in it. I mean, dang near everybody was good in that show though. I mean, I remember in that Bring It On movie, she was the one where she was with Beyonce's sister, and she was doing the crumping and stuff. That scene is funny now that I'm an adult because they wasn't doing nothing in there. But it was still interesting to watch. Trying to think, there's so many other things she was in, but I think them was like the biggest ones. Oh, what was that one? She was in this one comedy movie. I think it was I Love You, Beth Cooper. I remember like
I
that
heard of
movie.
that.
Yeah, that movie was weird, but
She tried
like
so hard.
it was. But to be fair, I think a lot of people play that clip from that movie thinking that she was the problem in the scene. To be honest, they was all whack. Like if I'm being for real, everybody was whack in that scene. I just think everybody was laughing at her because she was like the blonde white chick. But if you
Right.
really watch that scene, they was all terrible. Like they was equally bad. Like not one of them was better than the other. They was all really whack. So I can't really fault her too much because they were all bad in that scene. It was like a bunch of people who watched Stomp the Yard one time and was like, okay, we finna crumpet this scene. Like that was it. Like if you was trying to do Stomp the Yard from memory, like that was what that scene was.
And you said
Uh
stomp the yard from me. Um,
but then I
but
think the other
but
big
yeah,
one for sure was Dolly Parton. Like Dolly Parton was like a huge, huge shock. Again, another person who's been
oh yeah,
famous my whole life. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it was crazy because I swear, like a day or two before, she was just on something talking about, "Oh, I'm sick, but I don't plan on dying or anything." And then, like the next day, she was dead. Like that's crazy to me.
mm. Yeah, and and it's funny too. Like a lot of stuff I'm learning, like posthumously about her.
Yeah,
Like 'cause, like you said, like she was famous all my life. I knew her as that country singer with the nice, nah, I mean, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying. So, um, but nah, like I didn't know about. Well, I knew about the the child literacy. I knew she
yeah.
advocated for child literacy. But first off, I did not know that "I'll Always Love You" was originally her song and not Whitney's. Okay, I didn't know
See,
that at
I
all.
found that out later too because I remember when I watched the movie The Bodyguard as a kid, and there was that scene where Whitney is in like the scene, like they was dancing at like the restaurant with Kevin Costner, and there's like a country music version of that song playing, but it's a man. And so I thought, oh well,
Oh,
whoever that
okay.
man is, it was his songs first, and then Whitney redid it and stuff. But no, apparently, like that was like an in universe like thing, like in the universe of that, like it was like a meta joke because it started out as a country song, but yeah, they just didn't play the
Right.
Dolly Parton thing in the movie. But yeah, no, that was like she had that. I mean, I don't think we went to Dolly Land, but we did go. Was it like Tennessee or I mean, when we was younger, we went to like this place where apparently she had like it was supposed to be like either where she was actually from or a place she invested a lot into. It was like a bunch of like Dolly Parton stuff everywhere. I remember we was real young. She had this thing. Now a lot of people called this out for being like problematic, but like so medieval times. She had like her
Mhm.
own version of that, but it was like called the Dixie Stampede. And instead of like knights, it was like one half of the audience was the North and the other half was the South. And at, when I was a kid, I didn't care. We just had the free chicken and the potato
Right.
and was watching them do little cowboy stuff. But like, yeah, as you get older, it is kind of a wild thing to be like, hey, y'all know the Civil War? Let's make a medieval times version of the Civil War.
Now
Like,
I heard she had to drop. I heard she dropped Dixie from the name when someone like got in her ear about it. Was like, hey, that's not cool.
oh, see, I
Um,
was I was a kid, so I don't know when she would. So what is it just called Stampede now?
I don't
Uh,
know, like, cause I didn't know what part they were referring to. 'Cause I remember Dollywood is Lavendar mentioned. I didn't
yeah,
know she was.
Dolly was the theme park. We didn't go there. We went to whatever that town was where
Um,
she.
what
Like I
was
said,
it
I
called?
think
The
the lore I
Dixie
remember hearing
Stampede.
was that she was like from that town, and yeah, it's like Dolly Parton everything over there. But yeah, no, we went to the Dixie Stampede show that she had, and
Okay, yeah. So now it's just called Dolly Parton Stampede.
okay, cool. It's still North. It's still Civil War theme.
Oh, I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me look at some images. Uh, uh no, they just got the regular American flag up.
Oh no, they took the Civil
As
War
far as
theme
these
out.
images I see.
Oh, it was Pigeon Forge, by the way. That's the town, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We went there when we was kids. Yeah, that's where we went, Pigeon Forge.
Okay,
So
but
yeah, but
nah, like,
we just didn't go to Dollywood.
but I wanted to say too about that. Going back to "I'll Always Love You." So they say like the royalties that she made. I guess like every time I guess the Whitney version would sell something, like she'll get a piece. But I
Uh-huh.
heard she was using money to like invest in like a black neighborhood, especially in honor of Whitney Houston. So I was
See,
like, wow, I ain't know
that's what
that.
I'm saying. Like to me, she just seemed like a really genuine. Like for instance, I didn't listen to a lot of her music. Like I'm gonna be for real, but
Right.
she just seemed like a really genuine person. Like she seemed really cool. Like, who I'll never forget being a kid when she did that movie with Queen Latifah and she was on 106 in Park. Like I,
Was that
I,
that
I
was that that gospel movie or
yeah, Joyful Noise. But I remember
Joyful?
like I was
Okay.
so shocked because I'm like, there's a country store on 106 apart. Like that's crazy. Like I never thought I would see anything like that
Dang, I'm
before
gonna
in
have
my
to
life.
I have to look that up. Bro. Like that's I mean, I bet she was just as comfortable as she could be too. Like
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, like her and Queen Latifah, like, yeah, it seemed like they was like real cool and everything. Like it was with Terrence and Roxy. Shout out to
oh,
Terrence
okay,
and
it was the Terrence
Roxy.
and Roxy days. So it was
Yeah,
after AJ and Free. Okay.
that's what I grew up on. Like Terrence and Roxy was my host. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
growing up, I would always hear people talk about AJ and Free, and I'd be like, "Cool, I don't know them." Like I knew Terrence and Roxy. Like, and then I fell off when everybody else did. But like no disrespect, but when Bow Wow and the three other people who I don't know took over the show, I was like,
Oh, okay.
okay,
I thought they were just like cycling hosts like they did
nah, it was
with the
Bow
big one.
Wow. It was Bow Wow, and then I think there was like two women and one guy, and I have no idea who the other three people are. But it was
See,
Bow
like,
Wow.
come on, man. More than two, they fucked up already.
Yeah,
Like more than two is a crowd.
I
Like,
think if I had to be honest, considering the rumors surrounding uh like Terrence and Roxy at the time when they left, I think they was just trying to avoid another Terrence and Roxy situation because there was I remember like it was like a whole thing back when I was younger. Like there was like this like theory that like they was secretly messing with each other and then it ended bad and then that's why they like didn't want to do the show no more. So I think
oh,
they tried to get four people to kind of like distract from that. But yeah, no, Dolly was on there, like that was cool. Like also that Joyful Noise movie, I know it's like typical church movie stuff, but she was
hmm,
good at that too. She was bad funny. Like she's, her and Queen Latifah was really funny together. Like like she was really cool. It's like I said, man, it's really it's not sad because she got to live the life that she wanted to live, but it's like
right.
it is sad that like an actual genuine person is like gone. You know what I mean? Especially too because like considering where we're at now, I feel like there's like a lot of country music artists who aren't like that. Like there's like a decent amount of them who like kissing Trump's behind and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it's sad to see her go, but it is cool that like she left behind a legacy that's so amazing. And she got all them charities and stuff. Also, apparently she tried to like start her own gas station thing that was supposed to like rival like Bucky's and stuff like that. So
Really?
yeah, it's like supposed to be like a truck stop or whatever. So I heard like that's pretty cool. Like I do hope I get to see Dollyland sometime. Because like I said, I don't think we went there when I was a kid. I think we just saw the other stuff surrounding it. But yeah, and then other big death obviously today, Tim Curry. Shout out to Tim Curry. Tim Curry again, just a fantastic actor. Like I grew up. I think we all grew up with him and some of his most iconic roles in voiceover work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember this was I I remember watching the It movie on YouTube because somebody vaguely I think I was in like the 8th grade. Somebody mentioned it to me like Pennywise, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Who's Pennywise?" And they was like, "Oh, it's the evil clown." And then I looked it up. YouTube used to have all of the miniseries on there. I think that it's been gone now, but like, yeah, I watched the whole thing on YouTube. And yes, Tim Curry was very scary. Like you, like he didn't have all of the special effects that they had to make the new one scary, but he himself was terrifying as Pennywise, and I'll always give him his props for that. Let's see. What else did he do? I never saw Rocky Horror Picture Show, so I
Yeah,
can't
like I
speak.
said, I never saw that one. You had to be like, you had to be on like some theater kid shit to like be into that. But I heard it was good though, and I heard he did like, I mean, well, that's what put him on the map, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I always think of him too as the funny hotel manager at Home Alone 2. He was
that
hilarious in
okay,
that.
that's what I was gonna say. Okay, that's I was gonna say. So that was one of the obvious films he was in. Like, okay, I was like, I know there was some. I know he was on a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, he was
Uh,
remember too, he was a scary movie too.
he
Uh
was okay, yeah.
uh remember he had that freaky scene where he had like the twisted nipples and stuff. That was crazy.
Yeah.
He was wild in that movie, but he was so funny. Let's see. Muppets. Oh yeah, Treasure Muppets Treasure Island. That's what
Who
I
was he
that
the
was like the first thing I remember him as is
was
Muppets
he the
Treasure Island.
antagonist?
Yeah. He
Oh,
was
okay, I saw that.
yeah, he was who was it supposed to be? I think Long John Silver. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was Long John Silver in that. Yeah, he was good in that. Let's see. I'm trying to Oh, obviously Nigel Thornberry.
That was him?
Yup, yeah, smashing.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Nigel Thornberry was so funny, bro. I
Yo,
low
that
key,
shit
I don't think I remember a single plot point from that show. I only remember him and Donnie because they was the only people I cared about. Because Nigel was just goofy and the way he talked was funny, and then I laughed uncontrollably every time Donnie opened his mouth.
some always I always had like this little pet theory that like Nickelodeon execs originally planned for Donnie to be a black kid, but someone was like, "Oh shit, you right." You know what?
Man, if they had made Donnie black, they'd have killed somebody at Netflix. That'd have been too far. That have been you can't make Donnie black. Oh
Oh
man.
man!
I'm
Shout
trying to
out to
think.
Tim Curry, man.
There was
So he
one other
wow, he
thing
was
that he
Nigel
was in that
Thornberry.
I can't remember. There was something else I could have swore he was in that I can't remember what it is. Oh man, my brain is not thinking about it. I said there was this one other thing he was in my brain for that I just cannot remember he was in. Dang. Uh, wait, he might have been the bad guy, the evil lava monster from Fern Gully. I'm pre- I'm trying to think. I think he was the evil
He had
lava
a
monster
voice of
thing from.
Ferngully.
I could have swore he was the evil. Remember, because like it was like the deforestation monster. It was like kind of like a lava sort of monster. I could have swore he was that thing in Fern Gully. And Labrador, yeah. I mentioned Home Alone too. He was mad funny in that. Yeah, but yeah, man.
Oh man, I'm
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
load the IMDb. It's like
I'm pretty sure Lavendar. Yeah,
yeah, this
Lavendar
is
says she thinks he was the tar monster too. And okay, I,
okay.
but yeah, man. I mean, shout out to him as well. He's fantastic. I mean, it sucks though because they said that like near the end of his life, his quality of life was so depleted. Like they said, he had a stroke, and
Yeah, like limited mobility, and
yeah,
yeah, he did have a stroke.
yeah. The
Um,
Shadow. That's what he was in that I'm
the
thinking about.
Shadow.
Yeah, he was in The Shadow. I know a lot of people like have not seen that movie, but I thought he was like the secondary like evil rich dude villain in that movie. He wasn't the main villain though, but he was in there, and I
Okay.
I remember liking him in The Shadow too. With Alec
Oh my
Baldwin.
god, he was. Hold on. This man was in. He was on regular show. He was hot dog leader, whatever that was. I don't think I seen that
Yeah, I
them
don't remember.
episodes, but shout
Oh,
out to him. He was
okay.
in the. He was on regular show.
And I just thought about it. He played another creepy role. He was in an episode of Criminal Minds back in the day. This was like one of the earlier seasons.
Hmm.
He played this serial killer dude who would track like storms and stuff and wait for like an area to have a blackout. And he was terrifying in that episode. I always remember him. He was creepy in that episode. And I'm just like, yeah, if you're gonna make a creepy character like that, you call Tim Curry, like, because Tim Curry can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, shout out.
Oh,
And
he.
then, I do want to go back to Michael Wright though. I know we talked about him with
Hmm.
the Five Heartbeats and stuff, but I just want to shout out the movie Sugar Hill with him and Wesley Snipes, because he played Wesley Snipes' brother in that movie, and I'll still say, as much as I loved him in the Five Heartbeats, he was fantastic in Sugar Hill. Like, it was, his character was so sad and so infuriating at the same time. Like, it was just, because in the movie, him and Wesley Snipes are like two brothers who are
Hmm.
supposed to be drug dealers and stuff like that. And man, if you thought I mean, and it's the classic, like, Wesley Snipes is like the smart, calculated one, and Michael Wright's character is supposed to be like the
Like
wild
the
crash
crash
out one.
out. Yeah.
But I don't know, like, he played, like, I mean, it's partly with the script too, but like, he plays that character with so much depth to the point that, like, you don't hate him in the movie. Like, he does stuff that makes you mad sometimes or like confused, but like, he plays him with such grace and reverence that, like, you're kind of just like, man, I wish you had a different life. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
Because
Hold
like,
on.
it
Hold
was.
on. Hold on, real quick. My bad. This if Lavendar is still in the chat, I just want her. I just want to see if she knew. Yo, Lavendar, did you know that Tim Curry was on 100 Ds for Eddie McDowd? I don't know if anybody remember that show, but I used to watch that shit back in the day. But
I have no idea what that is.
nah, so it was like well, so back when Nickelodeon still had Snick, I guess it was like a Saturday night thing.
Okay.
There was a show called 100 Deeds of Eddie McDowd, which was like it was like he was like this kid who was like an asshole and like he fucked with the wrong person and that person was like a wizard of some sort and he like turned him into a dog.
Oh dang.
So as a dog, he has to complete 100 good deeds to be turned back. Now, I don't know if the show ever finished to where he did his 100th deed or not, but
Yeah.
yeah. But apparently, he was on an episode. He voiced a Rottweiler.
There was a Disney movie that was like that. It was with Tim Allen. He got turned into a dog. He was like this lawyer, and he was supposed to be like real greedy and stuff. And like, yeah, he got turned into a dog and had to like fix the problems in his family's life and stuff like that. Man, what was the
Oh,
name?
Lavendar said he never finished all the deeds.
Oh no,
Damn. Okay,
no,
so it
that's
must have got
sad.
canceled.
That's sad. I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. He just stuck as a dog forever. That's terrible. Poor Eddie McDowell, man. But no. Shout out to all these people. He was like, he had like 60 left. Oh no, that's like My Name Is Earl. My Name Is Earl got done the same way. My Name Is Earl. For those who don't know, My Name Is Earl show. He was a career petty criminal and stuff, and he made a list of he learned about karma in jail, and he made a list of like all the people he screwed over in his life. Oh well, he learned about, no, not in jail. Sorry, he learned about karma from a book, and he had gotten this like expensive lottery ticket and lost it. And then he decided, oh, it was karma that he lost the ticket. Because it was supposed to be like for like all this crazy amount of money. And then he realized, oh, well, he got to get his karma back up so he could like so good things would start happening to him and everything. And yeah, each episode he was supposed to cross off a name from the list of somebody he did wrong, and it was stuff like he was stealing people's cars, or like he scammed them, or like all types of stuff. So yeah, but My Name Is Earl, it got canceled. I think after like the third season, I want to say, or
Oh, that's
third or
great. I don't know why I thought that show lasted longer than that.
it was
Unless
either
each season had hella episodes in it.
it was either 3 or 4 seasons, I think. Anyway, but it got canceled before he finished the list.
Oh, lame.
So one of the creators did another show on Fox called Raising Hope, and that was about the show where this boy, like, he low key hooks up with this chick who was uh like a serial killer, and he didn't know she was a serial killer, and then 9 months later she ends up getting pregnant in prison, and he has to like raise his baby by himself with his like dysfunctional family. Well, in the
Mm.
first episode of that, they had like a Easter egg thing for My Name Is Earl, where like they showed on the TV, oh, man in whatever state completes his list of like good deeds for people he wronged. So it was supposed to
Oh,
be like them throwing a nod to fans, being like, "Hey,
he did it.
yeah, Earl finished the list." Although it was weird because later on in Raising Hope, one of the characters mentions My Name Is Earl as a TV show, and I was like,
Oh,
"Well,
damn
that
it.
yeah, I know." I was like, "Come on, man," but no, it was just supposed to be like a throwaway thing for the fans, being like, "Hey, that's like for y'all," because it was one of the creators, I think, you know. But no, My Name Is Earl was mad funny. I used to love that show. Jason Lee, I don't know if anybody know him. He used to be a skater, then he turned actor, all types of stuff. Jason Lee, hilarious in that show. That show was mad funny. But no, I mean, I think a good way for us to close out is just like, give a give our love to all of the actors and actresses and musicians and stuff who passed. Keep how you keep them alive is by keeping their works alive. Unfortunately, it's harder and harder to do that when it comes to streaming and everything, because not every streaming like device has their stuff live. You gotta wait like 3 months for it to come back on the platform and stuff, which sucks. But the little bit you can do, keep them alive, remember the good stuff that they did, and also keep an eye out for other talent who may not have gotten discovered, who might be on the same level as them or might remind you of them, because I don't think these artists were brought on this earth, nor would they want you to think they were brought on this earth to gatekeep these spaces away from other people. You know what I'm saying? So support other people while also keeping that.
That one.
Yeah.
You was spitting fire. I had to snap. Like,
Thank you. But yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to their loved ones for sure. Them is the ones who's really mourning. As sad as y'all may be, their families is the ones who's really going through it. So keep them in your hearts and everything. And I think that's a perfect place to end on. What about you, brother?
yeah, man. Shout out, like I said, to these celebrities who made an impact in pretty much their fans' lives and in the lives of other people through their philanthropy. Especially Miss Dolly Parton, and not to take a dig at any other dead people, but you see what happens when you live a good life and you don't fuck with people. We got nothing but good shit to say about you.
Right.
Unlike a certain um, senator who transitioned, who
Benji Bam.
yeah. So, but yeah, man, my heart goes out to like B said, to the family members of those celebrities who have passed on, and here's hoping to better culture around child celebrities,
Right.
and yeah, man, keep making positive impacts wherever you go.
Right. Also, one last note to the spirit of death: you taking everybody but the people we want. Come on, dog. What's going on? Why there's a couple names that that we need desperately, You watch the news the same way as us. Come on, dog. Like,
You know, somebody on Facebook, they're like, the wrong white people are dying.
yeah, you're like, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Thank you so much for joining us. It's SOS. You know what I'm saying? Come back Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Follow our sister at Raw Recovery. She needs your support too. Follow our friends over at the What They Want podcast. You know what I'm saying? Follow all of our pages. Thank you to our special correspondent, I want to say, holding it down in the chat. Shout out to
Yes.
Lavendar. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
support Lavendar Bunny and her cosplay journeys.
And yeah, we out here. Peace, y'all.
Peace.